Hello and welcome to another Bandwagon video about 12 British facts, traditions and stuff that randomly happens on this sceptred isle. Let's kick things off with a bang, or more accurately, a bang that didn't happen. We're talking about unexploded bombs from World War II.
In 2024 alone, police had to cordon off beaches in the north of England and Essex to safely detonate leftover bombs from the Blitz. And on the East Coast, over 600 suspected bombs might need clearing to build a wind farm. So why so many?
During World War II, Britain was heavily bombed, especially during the Blitz in 1940 to 1941. Nazi Germany dropped thousands of tons of explosives, but around 10 to 15% failed to detonate.
London alone had 12,000 tons of bombs dropped on it, and they're still lurking underground.
Fun fact, they can also turn up in people's gardens. So maybe skip the DIY landscaping if you're in an older neighborhood.
Next up, winter in Britain. Gloomy days, frosty mornings, and a bit of snow. Not always fun, but we can rely on Scotland to cheer us up thanks to their gritters.
These snow-clearing trucks get names, and not just any names, but puns so good they melt your icy heart.
In 2024, we've got the Blizzard of Oz, Penelope Gritstop, and License to Chill. And who could forget legends like Britney Spears? Here's a word of advice. Don't ask the British public for serious opinions unless you're ready for some nonsense.
Case in point. In 2016, the government held an online poll to name a polar research ship. They were hoping for something dignified. Instead, the public overwhelmingly voted for Boaty McBoatface. The ship was ultimately named RRS Sir David Attenborough. But a submersible got the Boaty name, proving that Brits love a good laugh.
And in 2024, when the government asked how to fix the NHS, suggestions included pubs in hospitals, serving alcohol to patients, and the Daleks from popular sci-fi show Doctor Who working as doctors. Because nothing says healing like a murderous robot saying, "Exterminate."
Everyone's heard of the Gloucestershire cheese roll, haven't they? It's where people chase a wheel of cheese down a steep hill. But let us introduce you to roly-poly, an older and possibly sillier tradition.
In the early 19th century, adults would gather in Greenwich Park, London, and roll themselves down One Tree Hill. Both men and women participated, though women wore short petticoats for convenience.
Very convenient for the men watching with telescopes at the bottom of the hill. Time for some cricket. Yes, cricket-playing nations, we know you know about it, so just sit this one out, okay?
Let's talk about the Ashes. It's the most famous rivalry in cricket, a 5-match series between England and Australia. It's been running since 1882.
It started when Australia beat England at the Oval. A satirical obituary declared that English cricket had died and its ashes would be taken to Australia. Thus, the tiny urn trophy was born.
The 2005 Ashes was cricket at its best. Thrilling matches, iconic performances, and England's first win in 18 years. It captivated 8 million TV viewers and revived interest in the sport.
If you've never watched cricket, think of it as a chess match that lasts 5 days with lunch and tea breaks, but can still end in a draw. Cricket also gave us the Barmy Army, England's most dedicated and loudest fans.
They travel the world armed with chants, songs, and plenty of humour. The name Barmy means crazy, which fits their devotion perfectly.
And I think their songs are cleverer than their football counterparts. But I would say that because I'm biased.
Where we go, everywhere we go.
But they're not just noisemakers, they also support charities, helping underprivileged kids get into sports. It's fandom with a heart.
Okay, if you've got this far, you might want to subscribe. You might not if you don't like the content or our opinions. That's okay, but if you have your own opinions, why not make your own video? Go on, see how easy it is. Next up.
Now to London's East End, where you'll find the Pearly Kings and Queens, dressed head to toe in mother-of-pearl buttons.
This tradition started in the late 19th century with Henry Croft, a street sweeper who used his dazzling outfits to collect money for charity.
Each king or queen represents a London borough, raising funds and embodying the city's working-class pride. They're a living link to Victorian London's community spirit. This next one is not just in Britain, but can be found in many countries. We mention them because Britain has a lot of these beautiful pathways.
They are holloways, ancient sunken paths worn down by centuries of foot traffic, carts and livestock. You'll find them all over Britain, especially in places like Dorset, where there are over 40 miles of these enchanting routes.
Some date back to medieval or even prehistoric times. Walking a holloway is like stepping into the past, perfect for history buffs or Instagram enthusiasts. Fancy a night in the wild? No, I'm not keen either, but some of you might like to try a bothy, a rustic shelter in Scotland, Northern England or Wales. Britain has a network of them, but most are in Scotland.
Managed by volunteers, they are free, basic and completely off-grid. Think fireplaces, sleeping platforms and stunning views, but no electricity or running water.
The rules? Leave no trace, respect others and embrace the solitude. It's hiking with a side of history and a big dollop of wilderness and no YouTube. Can you survive without Mr. Beast? Forget the famous rowing race. At Spitalfield City Farm, 2 goats, representing Oxford and Cambridge, race to the finish. It's a family-friendly event with live music, food and plenty of laughs. The proceeds support the farm, so it's fun for a good cause.
On Maundy Thursday, the British monarch distributes coins to elderly citizens in a centuries-old tradition.
The number of recipients matches the monarch's age, so King Charles is handing out quite a few these days.
The ceremony blends Christian values with royal pageantry, honouring those who serve their communities. It's humility with a royal twist.
Meet the Jack in the Green, a dancing tree man covered in foliage and flowers. He leads May Day parades, celebrating spring's arrival.
The jury is still out on how it all started, but the tradition possibly began with chimney sweeps or milkmaids and their decorative garlands. But today, it's all about Morris dancing and festive fun.
It's the perfect excuse to dress up and welcome warmer days, because let's face it, Britain could always use a bit more sunshine. So there you have it, 12 things you may not know about Britain.
But you do now. If you have any to add, tell us in the comments. We'll probably ignore them. Nah, just kidding, thanks for watching.